How's everybody doing? Looks like we have a few new people here. Hi, Eric. Yos, welcome back. Dipinda, did I pronounce that right? And Todd, yeah, I'm a David Lee Roth era person myself. I like Sammy Hagar on his own, but I never really liked him for Van Halen. So there's my 2 cents worth when it comes to music, and maybe we should just have like a discussion about music and one of these days, because I could talk about that all day long. So, oh, Linda, okay. Hi, Linda. Welcome. And then let's see. We got KJVM72. I seriously doubt that's your real name, but if that's what you want us to call you, welcome. And let's see. Man, Yos, you ought to work for us as just like an agent and just, keep bringing people in. And thank you for being such a big fan, of course. So, Yos has no audio, but everyone else can hear me? Okay, so this is a Yos. So I was just giving him some praise and he didn't even hear us. So, yeah, it sounds like we're good to go. I'm going to give it just one more minute. And then today we're going to talk about the domain monitor, which is a pretty cool extension. I like it because I've had issues before where I may or may not have forgotten to renew a domain, and this shows you how to integrate into your MainWP dashboard how domain name monitoring. So I'm going to go ahead and get the video started in just a moment, and this is usually the part 2 of where things can go awry, but hopefully we will get it working here in a second. So what's going to happen here is you're going to see another screen pop up, and you're going to want to watch that one. You're not going to want to watch my pretty face because it's going to go away. And you'll want to watch the other screen, which is going to be the pre-recorded video that goes into the domain monitor. And then afterwards, be happy to answer any questions that you have. We have some people much smarter than me, members of the team here with us. We've got Dennis and Bojan and Bogdan, and so they'll be happy to answer any questions as long as they're not too technical. If we get into technical things, then we're going to want to open tickets or take it offline. So that's it. Other than that, be nice, everybody, and yeah, Todd, it does have a little bit of a clunky setup for audio, but we're working through it. So at least it didn't take me 10 minutes to figure it out this time. So let's go ahead and get this going here. Hey everyone, thanks for joining me on today's office hours. Today I'm going to talk about the domain monitor extension. The domain monitor extension will help you to keep an eye on expiration dates of your domains and make sure that they're in good standing. What happens is once you've connected your child site to your dashboard using the domain monitor, you'll be kept up to date on expiration dates of your domain, and you'll get email notifications to tell you when they're going to expire. It's a very useful extension, and I'm sure you'll see the value in it if you've ever run into an issue where you've accidentally let a domain expire. So let's get started. As you can see here, I've got the domain monitor extension installed. So let's go ahead and go, and I got there by going to extensions and then domain monitor. And then I'll go and I'll check all sites domains. Once it has connected and added them, you'll see right here I've got the domains and I've got the URLs, and then it also tells me the domain name, which these sites are test sites that we have on our Cloudways server, and then it tells us exactly when they're going to expire. So cloudways.com obviously is going to expire a long way down the road here. Next, what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to set up how often I want this checked. So you can set it for how far in advance you want the notification of the expiration of the domain. You can set it for 7 days in advance or however much you want. 7 days is usually pretty good for me, but you can set it to whatever you want. And then you can set it to also automatically check the domains. So you can have it checked daily, once a week, twice a month, or once monthly. Now, for me, because domains are so important, obviously, I'm going to want to check mine once a day. So once I set mine to once a day, I'll go ahead and save the settings. Now, as you can see, we have a list of supported TLDs. If I click on this, it's going to show us all the TLDs that are automatically supported. So, your typical .coms, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Of course, there are a lot of TLDs that may not be on this list. And if that is the case, you can manually set a TLD. So if I wanted to set up a TLD that is not supported automatically, all that I need to do is go from my Domain Monitor dashboard and go to the site overview for a specific site. From there, I can click on Domain Monitor right here, and then I can click on Settings. In my settings, I can do a manual domain information, and then I'll click Save Settings. And then you'll see that I've got this new tab up here, and if I click on that, I can go ahead and I can add everything manually. So you can set up your domain name. You can set up your registration URL, your registrar URL. In this particular case, cloudways.com. Cloudwaysapps.com is registered through Namecheap. And then I can set up, and this is the important part, the creation date, the update date, and then the expiration date. So this is what's going to trigger your email that tells you that your domain is up for renewal. And then you can set your name servers here. Once you've got that entered, you click on Save Settings, and now you have it manually entered. So this is a great way to set up a TLD that may not be supported automatically, like a .com or .org, of course, are automatically supported, but some of the others may not be. Once back at your main extensions page, you can see here that it now has a different mode for each domain. For this one, this is the one that I entered manually. You can see that it has this icon which indicates that the domain was added manually. And then this icon indicates that it was retrieved automatically. This is a really simple extension, but it can be invaluable because, once again, as I mentioned before, if you ever happen to have let a domain expire, it's a little bit embarrassing, especially if it's a client's domain. So this is just one more way that the MainWP dashboard helps you to stay on top of everything that you do for your clients. And the more clients you get, the easier it is to overlook things like this. So using the domain monitor is going to save you a lot of heartache and headache and probably some pretty tough conversations in the future. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you next week. All right, I'm back. Awesome. So that was a domain extension and the monitoring extension, and good, Eric. I'm glad that you liked it. I hope it was useful to you. Good, Yost. Welcome. It's funny that you couldn't hear me because I was just lavishing praises on you and you missed it. So sorry, I'm not going to repeat it. But seriously, actually, I really appreciate all the help you give us. So does anybody have any questions? I see a couple people typing. Actually, Todd, I did not work for this radio voice. It does come to me naturally, and my brother actually has a better radio voice than I do. And as you can imagine, around the dinner table, our conversations get rather loud. I did not say anything weird about you. I was just saying nothing but nice things about you, and so don't worry. The domain monitoring extension is, like Todd said, it's kind of one of my favorites too, only because I can tend to be a little bit absent-minded, and things like that are things that I forget. Even and we, I don't know about you all, but we all tend to get. I tend to get these emails from other people who are trying to move my registration, and so they give me these fear-based emails about my domain expiring, and so I don't know what to take seriously and what not to, and so I know that my brain tends to shut it out, and so it's nice to actually have this one spot that just like that your domain might be expiring because it's coming from something you set up. So I don't know what you mean by that, Todd. Which info are you talking about that you'd like imported into the spreadsheet? All the customer info. Yeah. Yeah. I suppose that's something we all have to do manually. Yeah. I No, you're not, Todd. I know you're not lazy. Don't start with that. So that's it. First, I want to thank you all for your patience with my little technical difficulties. I had a couple weeks off, and so anytime you come back from something, you think you remember how to do everything, and then you realize that maybe something didn't happen right, and then we just have these issues with Discord. But I actually think that as long as I keep the same setup every single week, we shouldn't have the audio issues. It's just that a couple weeks ago we did have that thing where I had to makeshift it and switch my audio, and I think that threw things off. But anyway, I appreciate you all coming, and we will see you next week. The other thing that I'd like to say is, if you all have anything you'd like me to cover in office hours, don't hesitate to let me know. Otherwise, we're all just kind of operating in a vacuum as far as what we think people would like to see. And as you know, over here, the whole staff feels like we really want to provide content that you want to see. And so the more feedback we get from you all, the better off we are, and the more we can produce that kind of content for you. So I thank you again, and I guess we'll see you next week.